Hey guys, the subject of this video is on Opinel and some of my favorite knives by Opinel. One of my favorite bread knife they make has very aggressive serrations for heavy crusty breads, which are my favorite kinds of bread. The carving knife, which is just, very utilitarian in any kitchen, whether you're slicing vegetables or carving up chicken and turning a whole chicken into parts, or if you're cutting vegetables to cook or slicing cheese, whatever. It's just a handy knife to have, good size. And then there's the brunch knife. I don't know if you can see that, the rounded tip, and then it has serrations. This is I think they used to call it the cut and spread, but it is made for both. It's made for spreading, it's made for cutting. Makes a great cheese knife. And then there is the corkscrew knife, which is one of my favorite knives I make because it's great for picnics because it has the blade for cutting, and then it has the corkscrew for opening the wine. So it's a great picnic knife. So the reason for this video is, the world seems full of pre-sliced, pre-packaged items. And what they seem to be selling us is convenience, but what they seem to be giving us is dependence and waste, because bulk foods keep longer. A block of cheese, if it develops any mold, you can cut it off and you still have the inside of the cheese is fine because it only molds where the oxygen can get to it on the surface. Same with bread. It'll only mold on the outside, it doesn't mold on the inside. You cut into it further and there's no mold. So in a survival situation, that's good information to have. In long-term primitive living situations, it's good information to have. And by having our cutlery and knowing how to use it to full advantage, it allows us to be more self-reliant and more independent. So stick around for a few minutes and we're going to get into how these knives help us be less dependent and more self-reliant. Granted, finding bulk lunch meats is getting harder and harder to do, but it's still good to find when you can. I go to the deli and have them just cut off a large section off of the pieces that they slice, and then I do my own slicing later. And the reason for that is multifaceted. I like for fewer hands to have touched my food. I like for my food to have come in contact with fewer surfaces. I like for there to have been fewer opportunities for insects to have touched my food. It's just all around, I prefer bulk foods where only the outside gets impacted and I can, slice it myself. The bread doesn't mold as fast, the meat doesn't spoil as quickly. I mean, you don't ever see anybody selling you pre-sliced tomatoes. There's a reason for it. That's unfeasible. If they could get away with it, they would, just like they do the sliced melon in the other parts of the deli or the produce department. And that's actually fine sometimes. I mean, I buy my daughter the pre-sliced cubes of melon cups and just put them in the refrigerator sometimes when I'm in a hurry. I get busy, I'm a single parent, I know what it's like, but I don't do it all the time. I don't let myself get trapped there. I don't want to be sold into dependence just based on convenience and me just not wanting to put the effort into it. I have no excuses because I don't watch television. I don't go to bars. I don't do bowling. I don't go play pool. I don't throw darts. I'm either at work, I'm at home, hang out with my daughter, or I'm out in the field taking photos. So I really have no excuses to fall for the pre-sliced stuff, which is fortunate for me, so I don't have to. But anyway, I'm going to take this, which is turkey breast, there's big chunks of it. I'm going to slice that. I'm going to slice the cheese, slice up the tomatoes. We've got lettuce and a few other things. And we're going to slice the bread and make sandwiches. Mostly, I kind of want to show you just how well and how easily this knife cuts through bread. I mean, it just makes very quick work of even some of the hardest crusty bread. You can hear it. This is pretty crusty. So that takes care of the 4 slices of bread for my daughter and I, and you can see that. Sorry, I had to take it out of frame there for a minute. I needed a little more leverage than I could get reaching over the table. But as you can see, it works quite well. And if this were a case of being on a picnic, I could use this knife for cutting summer sausage and cheese and the fruit and what have you. So I just have this one little knife along. But it's handy to have at home if you don't have, can't find your corkscrew or don't have another one handy. It's always good to have this one laying around or sitting around a pack or a picnic set. You can always fall back on it. To me, it's so much more rewarding. Food is so much more flavorful when they're in bulk form and they haven't had a chance to air out and lose all their natural juices and natural flavors. Yeah. One of the more delicious parts of self-reliance and independence. Quite tasty. Thank you for stopping in for this video and joining us for this little discussion on knives, knife use, and self-reliance and independence. And in our ongoing and continuing mission to help all of you guys be more self-reliant and more confident and have more knowledge of your world in various ways. Stop in next time. The next video is either going to be, if I can, depending on which one I get finished first. I'm doing one on cordage, primarily paracord, but other cords are included, to discuss the value of pre-made cord versus natural cordage that you make in the wild. It's time consuming. It's can be troublesome. It can be a lot of work. So having at least a small amount of pre-made cordage on your journey when you head out to the outdoors is a good thing to have. Sometimes it's in paracord bracelets. I usually have at least a small roll of cordage in my pack, and most of the time when I head out, I do have on a paracord bracelet that has 24 feet of 330 cord on it. And that can give me a lot of different things. Bow drill, fire, can help me tie the poles for a shelter. Different things. It can be used in a lot of different ways. So, and you'll see a lot more of that in the paracord video or the cordage video. I'm really not even sure what I'm going to title it yet. I'm still working on it. And then the one after that is on reasons to own a pocket knife, reason to carry a knife. There's a lot of them all around us. They would have us believe that we no longer need them, but there's a lot of different reasons why. We're humans, we make tools, we're problem solvers. We've been making tools for thousands of years, and the pocket knife is one of them. That's actually the most refined version of the knife we've made so far. We started out with kitchen knives, big knives that we use for processing game and self-defense and offensive means, all that stuff. I guess the history of man is the history of war and so on and so forth. But as we became more refined and more civilized, we got to the point where we carry smaller knives in our pockets because there's a lot of different little cutting chores, whether you're out working in your yard or out on a hike with your kid or whatever. So we'll get into that one as I finish it up. It's about 50% done, so hopefully we'll see which one comes first. I tend to work on them as targets of opportunity with my busy schedule between the store, the YouTube channel, the kiddo, a couple of books I'm writing. It's a juggling act, so I never know which one I'm going to finish first, and it's always a surprise to me as well. So tune in next time, and we'll see which one I've got finished. Till then, you guys have a great time and be blessed.